Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending from where you are tuning in. You are welcome. Welcome, welcome to another edition with Mamlaka Brokers Network. And I am your host of today, Ambassador Veronique Lawson, coming to you live from our local studio right here in Savannah. How are you? Can you please state where you are tuning in today so that we could shout out to you for you or cheer you out? I'm glad that you are here with me today. Beautiful Queen Victoria, all the way from Spain. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, I'm continuing on this series, applying principle way to success. And today I'm trusting that I will be able to put an end to this part of from servant to ruler. Yes, you hear it well. If you miss my part one, part two, and part three, then I'm honest you to go back and trying to watch that once because it's just a continuation. So today is going to be part four of from servant to ruler. And I'm trusting that today I will be able to finish it so that next week I will come with another new topics in the same series. So you know that today is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and be glad over it because what? This day lie not in the power of any man, but of God. So once you know that the day lies in the power of God, what you do? You rejoice because no matter the circumstances around you, you know that the end is always good because the Father is never fair, right? So before I go diving into the teaching today, I would just want to let you know that we're so much appreciative of for you taking time to watch the video, taking time to cheer us out, taking time to tune in every time that we come live. So we do not take it for granted, and therefore we are very, very grateful to you and also for your time. And then remember that Mamlaka Brokers Network is a platform that is designed to contrast the worldly fact with the kingdom truth, the original. Remember that. So everything that you're going to be hearing on this platform or in the platform of Mamlaka is always going to be about talking about the kingdom of God, contrasting what the worldly fact are saying, and then we will give you the kingdom way and how you ought to really appreciate and live life. Okay, now let me dive into this continuation of from servant to ruler. Last time when I stopped, I said that if you don't use your gift, or if you don't use your talent, or if you don't use what God gave you, you will lose it. Some people may think that losing it, like, okay, I'm losing it as if somebody is going to come and steal your gift. No, when I say that you're going to lose it, it means that you won't be known for nothing. You see, so that actually being known for nothing means for in the eyes of God is that you lose things. And so once you don't use opportunity, somebody sees it and somebody grabs it and somebody just run with that. It's a sin. Welcome, Ambassador George Abraham, all the way from Germany. Thank you for tuning in and for cheering me out. Thank you. I was some session yesterday. I really love it. Thank you. So that is what can easily happen to a buried talent. So once a talent is buried, you lose a talent. And as we saw earlier with opportunity, sometimes we wonder why people seem to succeed and we don't succeed. Why? Just because they seize the opportunity and they run with the opportunity that is given. So maybe it's because we are not using the talent that God has given us. How would you feel if you gave a friend a gift? One you were sure they would like and use, right? But then you notice that they never wore the shirt, or they never wore the dress, or they never wore the hat, or they never wore any pieces of gift that you have given to one of your great good friends. Then you never see them. You never see them appreciate it. So they never take a time even just to take it out of the box. Can you imagine? Would you be offended? This is my question. You might think twice before you ever again try to give another gift to the same person, correct? It's same also with the talent. Because people who are ungrateful in everything. Also with the talent that God gave them. That is called being ungrateful. Because when you don't use the talent of the gift God gave you, even just to open up the gift that God placed in you, then you could be called an ungrateful, because you don't, it's just like you slapping the face of God. Say, okay, you didn't know what you were doing when you created me. You see, because you have all that gift in you and people are just around you. There may be people around you wanted to use to be beneficial to what you have, but because you are not expressive and because you are not displaying it, so people around you could die just because of that. And therefore, that's being ungrateful in the eyes of God. So I wonder if God sometimes feels that way about us. He has given us gifts. We have buried them in the ground out of fear or because we are too lazy to do anything with them. Why should God give us more gift and more responsibility if we aren't faithful to use what He has gave us before at the first place? I read last week Matthew 25. So Matthew 21 verse 43. I'm not going to read today because of time. I want just to focus and try to finish this topic today. We have Matthew 21 43 and Matthew 25 30, which I read last week. So you and you alone can respond to that question, and no one else. The question Jesus is asking in Matthew 25, 30, only you and you alone can respond to that question and no one else. So the place you end up being is the result of your own choices. Do not blame or shift blame to anyone. If you are in the place that you are today, you need to check the result. You need to check what brought you into that place. You need to check your own responsibility before you point the finger to other people. And anytime you point the finger at other people, you have 4 fingers pointing at you. If I'm pointing the finger, I got 3 fingers that is pointing at me myself. So before we even point finger, we need to find out what we have done that causes us to be at that place. You see, and I have a quote by Harriet Tubman, who say, always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the star to change the world. This is a slave woman who painted this quote. She was a slave, but she didn't die slave. She said, always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion. You have strength, patience, and passion to reach for the stars and to change the world. She reaches for the star and she changed the world in her time. Nobody can forget about Harriet Tubman. The person who rendered loyal service in a humble capacity will be chosen for higher responsibility, just as the biblical servant who multiplied the 1 pound given him by his master was made ruler over 10 cities. This quote is from Barry C. Forbes. I'm going to repeat it again. The person who renders loyal service in a humble capacity will be chosen for higher responsibility, just as the biblical servant who multiplied the 1 pound given him by his master was made ruler over 10 cities. Barry C. Forbes. So now you may ask me, okay, what is the heart of a servant, or how does the heart of the servant is like? I'm glad you asked that. And I'm going to give you a scripture. It's in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, And then you're going to find it out one there. And then he said, one who is humble, one who is diligent, one who does not consider himself of more value than other, and even though he knows and understands his value, he does not consider himself more valuable than other. Is also one who is able to teach according to 2 Timothy 2:24. Yes, Ambassador Josh, exactly. Humility gives you opportunity. Thank you very much for that. Allow me to take a sip of coffee while thank you very much. One who is able to teach, 2 Timothy 2:24. The book of Mark 10:45. It says that servant all that you are to other, not serving all who you are. The Father is asking us to serve all that. What is that? It's the gift. What is that? It's the talent. He's not asking us to serve all who we are. Usually many people go out, they serve who they are instead of serving all that, instead of serving their gift. And you see all around today, what we have in this world today is because everybody want to serve all who they are. And they don't serve all that which God gave them. Again, patience, 2 Timothy chapter 4, I'm giving you the heart of a servant. The heart of a servant is patient. The heart of a servant is one who is obedient. That's a heart. Ephesians chapter 6, 5 and 6. Titus 2:9. That's where you find obedience. A heart of a servant is someone who is dedicated. You have the example of Ittai in the book of 2 Samuel 15:21. He was so dedicated to King David. You have the heart of a servant is one who is faithful. Faithfulness is always rewarded. You find it in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 22:14. Now, who are called to be ruler? Who are called to be ruler? Before I gave you the scripture, which we all know, you're going to see popular on my screen, a pyramid, two types of pyramid, and then we call it the Maslow pyramid. On this pyramid, let me take a time a little bit to explain it. When in this world, we have the Maslow ways versus the kingdom way. Which one is the Maslow way? The Maslow way is the one that is like a traditional leadership. Because in the Maslow way, the leader is always on the top. That's the pyramid that is going like this. On the peak of the pyramids in the top. That's the Maslow way. People want to climb the stair. They want to climb because they want to be at the top and press the other people down. The Maslow way actually says that the leader is at the top, the management come after the leader, the employee at the bottom, the customer at the very, very bottom. That's a value stream there. But in the kingdom way, Jesus said, if you want to be great, you will be the servant of all. So your value stream is actually on the top. That means you are serving, you serve all the customers. Everyone you meet in life is a customer. So you serve the customer. Anyone you meet in life is like an employee, you serve the employee. Anyone you meet in life is like a management team, you serve your management team. And at the bottom, you are that leader in God's eyes. I could not express more than that. So you see the way the worldly system wants you to be and the way God wants you to be is totally opposite. And that is why we are here to contrast what the worldly people or the worldly system is trying to inject in your mind so that you try to escalate that ladder to be able to be up there as a leader. Meanwhile, you are pushing and trample the other people down. It is not God's way. God's way is always to serve. And who are called to be ruler? I'm glad you asked that. According to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and verse 28, God said, let us make man after our own image, after our own likeness. That they may do what? Rule there. Not he or not she, but they may rule. So just the word say there means that what? God for us are called, all of us, ruler. All of us are called to be ruler. All of us are called to be master. Not over people, but to rule that. That is the gift that God placed in each one of us, which was entrusted us as a gift. The planet is a that. The fish of the sea is a that. The lion kingdom is a that, or the animal kingdom is a that. The air is a that, which why we do it now. Infiltrated the air and we taking it for kingdom dominion. The air is a that. So this is what God asked us to do, to rule over every species. But he never put another man to be ruled over. That's why you can't rule over a human spirit. That's why you see all these things that we having today, like people call racism or whatever. Nobody can rule over a human spirit and succeed. Because in our DNA, we will always rebel another person who's trying to rule over us. I'm right? You could even try to see if your boss, if you could allow your boss to just speak to you anyhow, even though you have a paycheck. And at a certain point you say, I get enough of this. I'm going to go. Why? Because it's that DNA of you in you that causes you not to be ruled over. I tell you, Abba Father is genius. Can you imagine that he have always said, okay, let us just make a part of people rule and the other one be subordinate. Do you imagine what is going on today already with the elite and the globalists that they're trying to rule over the people, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. Do you even imagine that? What kind of God will be? That's why their plan will not succeed. They're trying to do all what they're trying to do with all the resources they have, but it's still failing because they are a failure. Everything that God has not ordained is a failure. Therefore, we need to find that thing called that and subdue it. You could not subdue a human being. You could not subdue your wife. You could not subdue your children. You just could not subdue them. Why? Because they're human. The human spirit can be subdued. Even the Father himself, the Creator, could not subdue a human spirit. How much more you, mere human? I mean, sometimes people feel like, okay, I'm going to do it. You could not. I'm sorry, man. Oh, woman, I'm sorry. Master that field of your gifting area, your domain. Yes, beautiful Queen Victoria, you can subdue a human being. We cannot subdue a human being. Your perimeter and you replenish it. You have to master it. When you have done all of that, they will call you dominator. You don't dominate until you become fruitful. See, when God placed every human being on the earth, he never asked them to be seedful, but he asked them to be fruitful. It means what it denotes that we have a seed that will have to produce. Because if God were to ask us to be seedful, then that means that we need to go and find the seed. No, he said, be fruitful. He have given us the seed already. So we need to plant the seed in the right environment and cause that seed to germinate. And once the seed is germinated, we grow and then we are fruitful. Then we can replenish and then we can do that. Beautiful Queen Annette, how are you today, my darling? How is Colorado? It's cold there, I'm pretty sure. Oh, you have to better visit me quickly because it's warm here. Thank you for cheering up. You have to plant your seed in the right environment. So if you don't plant your seed in the right environment, you will never be fruitful. And once the seed is planted, you have to germinate. And then after it germinates, it will grow. Once it grows now, then it begin to bear fruit. And once it begins to bear fruit now, then people begin to seek off after your fruit. And that's where they call you dominator. You are dominator, but until you dominate, you are not yet there. But God sees that in any one of us. That's why he said, let them be fruitful, let them multiply, let them replenish. It's a process. You see, you and I will not become ruler only when Jesus returns. Many people feel that they're waiting for Jesus to become ruler. No, Jesus is expecting us to rule right now. Rather, it is now. Jesus is expecting us to rule in the domain he placed us. We have to rule. We Mamlaka, we have to rule the airways. We have to rule the gamma rays. We have to rule other places. Why? Because God has given us that dominion mandate. And we're taking it and we are doing it. See, so you are priest and you are king, according to Exodus chapter 19, 5 and 6. And so I'm going to give you a couple of scripture. First Peter chapter 2, verse 9 and 10. It says that we are royal priests. Royal priests were a new generation. That is that one who said that. And then Revelation chapter 1 and verse 6. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9 and 10. If you missed that session with Ambassador Rick Kenda concerning the shift while he was explaining that 2 weeks ago, and maybe you missed also the one that he spoke about the enemy reaction on last Friday, I better want you to go watch that one so that you will see exactly what he's going to lay on that on Friday. You are both kings and priests. You are priests when you minister to God. When you go into the assembly of the saints or the assembly of the brethren, you minister to God. There you are priests. You minister to the people. There you are priests. But you are king in the marketplace. We need to go into the marketplace and filter the marketplace and subdue the marketplace and change it for the kingdom. There we are king. Priests have the access to the Father. That means that all your prayer, everything you do, you are a priest. But king is a ruler, is a business leader, is one who knows and support and who knows where he's supposed to be. Just like David was a businessman, a king. David, the great king, he was a great king, he's a businessman. He was a politician. But today, nobody want to go to the politics. And meanwhile, we try to pray for the politics to change. We could not put the unrighteous people into the position of leadership and expect them to have righteous judgment. That could not happen. Let me repeat it again. We can place the people, the unrighteous people, in the position of leadership and expect righteous judgment to be manifested. It will not happen because a apple tree will not produce an orange. David was also not only a priest, even though he wrote all the Psalm, 150 chapter of Psalm. He was not a priest only. That is why he was not really a priest. That is why he always set around him the Levite. Remember, in the children of Israel, God has set an entire tribe as a priesthood tribe, which was the Levite. But that was not God's original. God wanted to have the whole Israelite to be king and priest. But when they called them into Mount Sinai to Moses, they didn't want to go. They said to Moses, no, you hear from God and you let us understand. You come and tell us. And so, okay, God said, oh, I'm going to choose only the Levite to be a priest. And David understood it well. So David, even though he was anointed king, he knew that he needed to surrender himself with the priest. Which is why I say, when we appointed the people in leadership, we need to surrender them with the priest. The president needs to be surrendered with the priest. The prime minister needs to be surrendered with the priest. All the governor officials need to be surrendered with the priest. Why? Because they need to hear what God is saying to them. They need to go by God's way, not by their own intellect. And that is why the nation are collapsing, because we expect them to have righteous judgment when they have a wicked thought. And that was the old covenant. People would say, yeah, but now in the new covenant, we need to understand the ministry of kings and priests in the new covenant. The kings are the ones who minister in the marketplace and bring the provision to the house of God. Meanwhile, the priests are the ones who keep the vision of God's house. It is a godly calling. It's a spiritual calling to that. The kings also have a godly calling. Even though they are in the marketplace, they still have to carry themselves in the marketplace as the king that they are. And with their godly calling, not only they bring the provision, but create a platform because of their influence for the priest to stand on. So the kings go to the marketplace, made the way in the marketplace, create an influence, and now call the priest, say, okay, come now, deliver this, deliver the lecture. Come now, deliver this one. Cause the people to listen. Cause the people to hear. This is what you see in the book of Old Testament. In the Old Testament, all those kings, that's what they were doing. Study the kings in the Old Testament. Study the priests in the Old Testament. Study the king in the New Testament. Study how they do with the priests in the New Testament. You will see that it's equal. God could not be divided. Remember, there were 12 tribes of Israel, right? And 11 tribes were sent out to do what? They were sent out to be business leader. They were sent out to be nation builder. They were sent out to change the nation. Meanwhile, one single tribe was a priest, the Levite. They were the one making sure that the law of God is being repeated into the marketplace, making sure. And the priests today are making really sure that the law of God is implemented in the politics, government, and all, or they are only making sure of their pocket. We need to understand our calling in the marketplace and in the ecclesia. Why did Jesus Christ choose 12 businessmen, 12 business leaders, and not 12 religious leaders? Have you ever asked yourself, why did Jesus choose 12 business leaders and not 12 religious leaders? He knew that to change the world, you don't need 12 religious leaders. To change the world, you need people who think business. Now, the example of Joseph. Joseph served as a slave servant, was falsely accused. He was put to jail, and from the jail to the most prominent place in the nation, the kingdom of Egypt. Joseph from the servant become ruler. I'm talking about how can you one move from servant to ruler. His vision, that means his dream, kept him pure. His character caused him to keep his vision uncontaminated. Because sometimes you may have a vision, but maybe you don't have a character to carry the vision. God gave vision to every one of us, but it would demand character to carry out the vision. His diligence was cultivating and developing his gift, even in prison, even in an unfavorable environment. That caused him to be promoted into the prominent place. He was in prison, but while he was in prison, he was still serving his gift by interpreting dreams. He was still serving the gift because he found out that God could use him to interpret dreams. So that was part of his gift. And that gift was to just be only when he was in the prison, because sometimes the gift will have a season too. So he could interpret the dream while being in prison, while being in the unfavorable environment. See, it is not what happens to you that matters. It is what you do with what happened to you that matters the most. I want to repeat it, please. See, it is not what happens to you that matters. It is what you do with that which happened to you that matters the most. Let us become that ruler, that master God, the Creator, created all of us to be. Each one of us in his or her own area of gifting and dominate it, right? Let us trade our talent, our gift, by serving it or serving them to the way that we will be here. Well done, my faithful. Please bring me that slide. Well done. God will not say, well done, my faithful pastor. God will not say, well done, my faithful bishop. God will not say, well done, my faithful apostle. God will not say, well done, my faithful evangelist. God will not say, well done, my faithful preacher. God will not say, well done, my faithful missionary. God will not say, well done, my faithful teacher. God will not say, well done, my faithful singer. God will not say, well done, my faithful worship leader. But God will say, well done, my faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord, according to Matthew 25:21. This is what God is going to say about all of us, because God has no prejudice. God has he is just so righteous We could be having all the title that we want to have on the earth. But God look at the servanthood, at the servant heart. Well done, my faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Matthew 25:21. And I think that today, this topic of from servant to leader is end. Remember, God will not say apostle, teacher, prophet, doctor, reverend, and all the name that you could have, all the title you could have. Is looking for servant. And I hope that you are such. Okay. Thank you very much for the privilege of your time and for causing us to do what we do, because you are always cheering us up, because you are always continually giving us the stamina that we could go more and more and further and further. So you are so valuable to us as our audience. Thank you for all of you who have tuned in today, and for those who are going to tune in after we are off air, who are going to watch this broadcast. Thank you very much, beautiful Pastor Miranda, all the way from Florida. How are you? I told you I need to have you on the show, Pastor Miranda. I need to have you on the show. So you need to let me know when you are ready. I need to have you here, really, really. So thank you very much. And if you have missed all the session of from servant to ruler, this is a fourth session I have made today. I have made number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So please, you could go back and check it. You could take a lot of notes, because many people are building their pyramid with the pick up. But God is building the pyramid with the peak down. We are not building the Maslow pyramid. We are of the peak is down. Servant to ruler. You and I are the one God called to be. And I hope that you have been blessed by this session, the 4th session, servant to ruler. It is be my privilege, and it's be also my honor, and it's also be also my gratitude to all of you that you are able to even tune in on the other session on Monday, on Tuesday, on Thursday, and on Friday. We have another powerful session coming up on Friday with Ambassador Rick Kenda, who is going to sum up what he's spoken, the shifting and the enemy reaction. Now is going to be the marriage supper. So you don't want to miss what God have to say through him about the marriage supper, on the book of Revelation, how the way he unfold the book of Revelation, all the mystery that people feel that is a tribulation here is there. Please go watch it again. I mean, last week, Friday, for me, that was like a bomb. It was just awesome how the enemy are reacting. Everything we see is the enemy reaction. So we'll be coming back with him on Friday at 1 p.m. But prior to coming back with him on Friday at 1 p.m., we have our session, also our plug-in on Thursday with Ambassador Gabriela Mbala. Stay tuned. In the meantime, be the media evangelist. Like us, share our platform, share our podcast, share our live cast, share this message. Just by sharing it, you are actually participating in expanding the kingdom in your own way. You see, you just click the button. You could tag your friend. You could share by tagging your friend. Just by doing that, your reward already in heaven is great. Why? Because this is not a Christian platform. This is a kingdom, and we only deliver kingdom message. We only deliver anything that is around the kingdom, and that is talking about the kingdom, and that is causing you to be the person who God called you to be, and also to release that God places in you. Thank you for following us, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, on Rumble, on BitChute, on Twitter, on Instagram, and all the platforms that we have. Thank you very much, beautiful Queen Annette. Thank you very much, beautiful Queen Miranda Mitchell. Thank you very much, beautiful Queen Victoria. Thank you very much, handsome King George. Thank you, and for all of you that I may have missed the name, please, thank you, and excuse me that if I'm not calling your name. Thank you Thank you. And until I see you on Friday. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it's gonna be so good on Friday. I don't want you to miss that part. Let us meet in the air where all the eagles are. Let us meet in the air and I say bye bye. Bye bye.